Hello, everyone. Welcome to another masterclass series hosted by the IAPC&M to celebrate International Mentoring Day on the 17th of January. Today's event, which is 2 days later, is bringing together two industry powerhouses. First, today, we had Nikki Wild, who talked about the key differences between coaching and mentoring and how the IAPC&M can support with accreditation in that regard. And up next speaking is Ian Norton. With his masterclass, Blending Coaching and Mentoring Creates Transformational Results. This masterclass explores the key differences between coaching and mentoring and how blending them creates more powerful client outcomes. How to ethically and confidently integrate mentoring into coaching while maintaining professional boundaries and client autonomy, and why presence, lived experience, and pattern recognition significantly enhance coaching impact and client confidence. Before I share a bit of information about Ian, just wanted to introduce myself briefly. I'm Elena Nedeva, sitting in Bulgaria. I'm an accredited practitioner coach with the IAPC&M, and I have the pleasure to be your host today. This masterclass is recorded, and to ensure the quality of the recording, please mute your microphones, but keep your videos on if you like. This session is going to be interactive, so please feel free to unmute yourselves when you would like to ask a question and interact directly with Ian. Or if you're a bit more shy, I'm very happy to read out the question on your behalf, and this way Ian can respond. This is a quick reminder that you can also fill in your CPD logs with takeaways and ideas. Now, I actually share a bit of information about Ian, and there is so much to be said about him. He's a fellow of the IAPC&M, a high-performance confidence coach, etiquette expert, mentor, and transformational strategist with over 30 years experience working with royalty, global leaders, creatives, and entrepreneurs. His unique hybrid approach blends coaching mastery with deep mentoring, performance psychology, NLP, and real-world expertise gained from a career that has spanned the West End, elite etiquette training, and working with clients such as Princess Diana, Prince Edward, Joan Collins, and the Sultan of Brunei. Ian is known for his ability to create rapid, embodied, lasting transformations, helping clients strengthen identity, presence, confidence, and business clarity through a powerful blend of coaching, mentoring, and life wisdom. Without further ado, Ian, over to you. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Right, I did put some slides together just so that it gives people things to look at rather than my ugly mug. Let me see if I can share it. No, there we go. There we go. There we are. Right, we're in business, I think. There we go. Right, well, welcome everyone. Yes, that kind of introduction of the talk and everything sounds kind of quite heavy. It's basically the reason that I'm here is to share my thoughts on what I call the power pair and why I think that coaching and mentoring work really well together and work hand in hand. It's about giving yourself permission to do what you think is best and ultimately what is best for your clients. Why me to talk about this? As very kindly said, I am a fellow of the society. I've been coaching in one form or other for just over 40 years now, so a very long time. And a couple of years ago, I picked up the moniker of the Confidence King, which was very sweetly given to me by a group of businesswomen that I was working with at the time. And I decided to embrace it because it very much is the basis of everything I do. Because I believe that if you start from a base of self-belief and self-trust, whatever issues you're dealing with, whether it's emotional, physical, career, relationships, whatever it is, it's far easier to tackle it from that position of self-belief and the basic trust that you will be okay no matter what. So we're going to look at my approach to coaching and mentoring, what it actually means, where to use it, how to use it, and kind of everybody's thoughts on it, really. So where I want to start is the reality of coaching at the moment. And it's that kind of situation where 2026, we are in a position where information has never been more widely and easily available to every single one of us. There, you know, we have the internet, we have libraries, we have talks, we have information, we have coaches, we have supporters, we have counselors, we have therapists. And in theory, it should be amazing. But the actual reality is that our potential clients are completely overwhelmed. Because if you think of it from their perspective, if somebody feels that they need support with something or they need help with something, they can, you know, head to Google, which, you know, a lot of us do a lot of the time for things. It's like, quick, I'll just Google that. But what are they met with? They're met with labels. You are this, you are that, you are X, Y, Z. To fix you, which is one of my favorites, you need this, you need that, you need this, you must do my course, you must come to me for this, you must read this book, you must take this supplement, you must. And they are just bombarded by noise and just this complete overwhelm of just too much all the time. And we can't switch off. As human beings, we are designed to perform cyclically. We are designed to go with the seasons, to go with the flow, to go with universal energy. And yet these people are being bombarded 24 hours a day by, a lot of the time, unnecessary noise and information. So they are completely overwhelmed. Add to that the number of, what can I say? There's no other way of saying it, but scammers and cheats and people that make promises and don't deliver, which makes people scared to commit or risk averse or worry about what they're going to do. So they are completely overwhelmed. They are also over-informed. And what I mean by that is this access to knowledge. There are literally thousands of self-help books that people have access to. There are YouTube videos. There are online support things. There are all these unregulated access to information. So they can sign up to a free course. They can read a book, they can go online and read articles, they can hit Wikipedia, they can do all these different things. But none of that is going to help unless they have the right support, the right direction, the right reassurance. So many of them are under-supported because they don't have that connection between the information and the outcome. So that is the reality of the people that we are trying to help. This is why it takes so much longer to build those relationships with potential clients, because we need to get to that level of trust. So the reality being, most clients don't need more information. They need someone that can hold them and keep them steady while they move forward. Now, there are obviously dictionary definitions of what coaching is, what mentoring is. My personal kind of breakdown of it is that I see coaching as insight awareness. It's the holding space. It's the questioning to help someone find those light bulb moments themselves. It's questioning to get them to maybe go where they don't want to go. But it's very much about helping them to understand themselves and to question. Whereas mentoring, I see much more as coming from a place of lived experience, of advising from other clients you maybe have helped in a similar situation, things that they've maybe tried or done. It's a bit like if you get in a car, the insight being in a car, if you know how to drive, then you know what the car does, you know how to start it, you know how to put it into gear or into drive, you know the theory of how it all works. The mentoring is the putting the destination in the sat nav so that you actually have somewhere to go with it all. And it's about giving yourself permission to do what is best for the clients. And sometimes coaching on its own isn't enough, and it needs a backup of some mentoring. There is no right or wrong with this. There is no one is better than the other. It's kind of the idea that coaching is the main course and the mentoring is the seasoning that goes with it, if that makes sense. It's different tools for different moments. It's yeah, as I say, it's insight versus, well, plus direction. And I think the way I look at it, when someone comes to you as a coaching client, they obviously have somewhere that they want to go. They have something that they want to address. And sometimes coaching on its own is enough. We can ask the questions, we can take them to where they need to go through those questions. They can gain the insight that they need. They can come up with a solution themselves while they're working with us, and that's fine. But sometimes people genuinely don't know the answer. Sometimes they genuinely do not know what to do. And we could ask questions for hours, but if they genuinely are so stuck they cannot see a solution, coming in with a little bit of advice and support and mentoring can often ease the way. It can give them that sense of direction. It can shortcut sometimes to get them to kind of kickstart into the solution. So I think in terms of gaining momentum for people, the combination of the two, I think personally works brilliantly, but it's about how you use them. Now, in terms of how I use them, I've called it a framework. It's basically, this is a support system. It's like the scaffolding to the way I use the different modalities. And these, I think, are crucial in any session, but particularly when you're looking at whether to go with coaching or with mentoring. Starting with presence. Now, what I mean by presence is being genuinely 100% present in the room. When I approach a coaching session, I never plan the questions I'm going to ask. I never have an agenda because my agenda is the client. And I think particularly with new coaches and when you're less experienced, there is a tendency to set a meaning on what you're going to do, that what outcome can I deliver for this client today? And what do I need to do? And I've got my questions and I'm going to work through them. And as a basic formula, when you're less experienced, it's great. But the problem with it is you start to focus too much on that and you miss some of the signals that are coming from the person that you're coaching. You maybe miss some of the things that are being said or not said because you're conscious that you're trying to work through a format. So when I say presence, it's about genuinely connecting with that person. Yeah, we have the tools of active listening and repeating back and all those kind of things. But the presence part is genuinely connecting with that person, watching the body language, sensing where they may be holding back, picking up on things that they're saying. But as an example, I was working with a client this morning who is in the process of setting up a coaching business. And he was talking about not knowing really what to focus on. So I left it at the time and we carried on talking. And I came back to him midway through the session and we revisited the conversations that he'd had, that he'd told me about during that first part of our session. And he talked about how he'd been talking to his partner because she's having problems with her mother because her grandmother has dementia and her mother has a few issues that they're dealing with. He then said that they had a friend round this morning whose parents, she's Malaysian, her parents are in Malaysia. They've been over, they've stayed for 3 months. They've just gone back. She's had issues with them and he was talking to her about that. He then mentioned that he's been asked to speak at an event about his experience of getting divorced and getting permission to see his children again and dealing with all the stuff that went on with. And it was only when we started talking about it that he realized that there was a connection of parents, family, relationships, child to parent, parent to child within all the conversations that he told me about. So being present, I was able to point that out. So this is a direction he can now start to think about. So presence, hugely important. Same with patterns. It's picking up on the language that people are using, the repetition, the things that they're not conscious that they're saying and doing. And quite often, these are the areas where coaching isn't enough. Because when we start to question them about it or question how they can deal with it or how they can change it or how they can address it or where it's coming from, a lot of these situations, they genuinely don't know. So this is where it can be very useful to be able to bring in some mentoring and to talk about other clients or other situations or your life experiences where things that you've done or tried may benefit to move forward in these kind of areas. Permission being the next one. Always ask permission if you're going to mentor somebody. Now, because my work is a combination of the two, it's a given that there will be mentoring, there will be advice in amongst the coaching when I'm working with somebody. It's in the contract. It's mentioned when I have a first conversation with somebody about how I work. So the permission is granted up front. So it's a done deal. But it's just about it. And when I say get permission, I don't mean that you've got to get somebody to sign in blood with a wax seal to say that it's okay. It's just as simple as just saying, is it okay if I give you a little bit of advice, or are you open to me sharing a couple of ideas with you? But it's just getting them to commit that yes, it's okay, because they have to commit. Because otherwise it's just compliance. Otherwise they're just doing what you're telling them to do. And that again doesn't help them. This is a two-way negotiation, but the idea is to try and shortcut or to make their life a little bit clearer, a little bit simpler, to get rid of another bit of noise. Practice I put in there because sliding from coaching into mentoring and back to coaching, it is a skill and it takes practice. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. It links back to the very first point about presence. If you are aware of that person at a high level, you can read where you need to go. You can see where a piece of advice will become useful, or where another question will work, or where the questions are stalling, and you know that you can move things forward a little bit better, or you can make someone feel more comfortable to push themselves because they understand that they're not the only one that's been in that situation, and that you genuinely understand where they're going from. But this just comes from practice. So don't expect it. If you don't normally do it, don't expect it to instantly happen, but don't give up on it either. Because like I say, it's there's no one is better than the other, or as a coach, you have to only question and you must never go there, or anything like that. It's just about practicing what feels right within you and for your nervous system, and what is going to be best for your client. And ultimately, it's about letting your client gain the power to go forward and to move into the next phase or the next area, or to attack or solve or work with whatever issue it is that they're working with you on. So those are the main ways my framework works. So as I say, it's about presence, it's about pattern, it's about permission, and also for you giving yourself permission to explore and to play and to have some fun with it and see where it goes, see what difference it makes to your sessions. Practice it and leave them with some power. So the ethics and the maturity of it. As I've said, always get permission. And so I've put consent, but it sounds a bit grand, really. But yeah, just like I say, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can just be as simple as, would you mind if I gave you a little bit of advice? Or are you open to me sharing some things that I've tried, or that my clients have tried? Something like that. Transparency, that comes up in everything. It's about that honesty of, you're on a journey together and you want the best for your clients. So it's about working with whatever that is. I'm going to push you with some more questions because, or I think that what I did with this client, here's the story, that may help you when you're deciding what to do on your next steps, or however you want to take it forward. But I said, the transparency, integrity, and experience led. I put those in. In terms of mentoring, it is about being experience led with the advice that you're giving. It's not about opinions. If you are suggesting some support or some advice to somebody, I would always say, if you can put "in my opinion" in front of it, then don't do it. If you can put "in my experience" in front of it, then go for it. Because it's, as I say, a lot of it is sharing those experiences that then will make it easier for the client. But it's very different from just giving an opinion on something. As I say, all of this is just my approach to it. It's that, again, even with that, there's no rights or wrongs. You have my permission to completely disagree with everything, but this is kind of the way that I like to work on it. I'm going to whiz out of this because I can't see anybody at the moment. I'm just going to whiz out for a minute and just see. Has anybody got any questions so far? You nip out so I can see. If anyone does,
I haven't got a question, but I've got an observation, if I may, Ian.
Of course, darling, please.
Nice to see you away. Always a pleasure, especially seeing as though you're suffering a little bit this afternoon.
Yeah, it's just it's the
little bit of man flu, is it?
Virus. Yeah, it's honestly, it's the flu virus. It started, it kicked in about mid-December, and it's taking forever to just shift that last bit. So yes, I apologize if I end up cutting short or coughing
No,
unpleasantly.
not at all. It sounds very nice having that gravelly voice, and I'm sure you just worked it too much at Panto. That's the reason why.
Well, that didn't do a
Um,
lot of good, I have to
no,
say.
I'm sure. But I'm really appreciative of you being here. I just wanted to sort of reiterate what you were saying about, and I think that's lovely. I'm definitely going to take that on board. It's not in my opinion, it's in my experience. I'm reading a book, The Greatest Seat in the Universe.
Mm.
And it says in there, pick your experts really carefully. If when you want your roof fixed, you only talk to roofers, you're absolutely fine. But we go around the houses talking to our hairdresser, the barman, or whatever, and that is not right. And it kind of reinforces what you've just said. If somebody can say, in my experience, you know you're onto a winner. So that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and that's why obviously I'm biased because I'm a fellow member of the society, but I genuinely, the more I see online of, oh, I'm a coach, I do this, my niche is this, I do this, I do that, it scares me because the whole idea of all these people that don't have the skill set, that haven't invested time learning, it's like any other form of support. Like you say, you wouldn't go to a roofer, but equally you wouldn't go to a doctor who just read a medical journal and decided they were going to practice. How many horror stories about fillers and all of that? It's like, it's so important to be, and the support for us to be involved in an organization that has your back and is there to support you, and will call us out if we're not doing the right thing. All these people, we want to give the best we can, and as I say, that's why I like to mix coaching and mentoring. It's like when I was talking to David, the first session I talked to him, I could see there were moments where he was going, I don't know where this is going, and I don't know why this is happening. And I don't, but when we did the second one, he was like, now I get it. Okay. And it's like, I find that being more conversational for me works better because then I get the information from people because they open up, they talk. And as I say, that's where the being present becomes so important, because you do then notice those little things and you kind of go, oh, I wonder. Oh, well, we'll circle back to that and I'll just mention that later. Like I say, with the client this morning, it was only when I mentioned it, he was like, actually, yeah. And I said, and what's the talk you're doing on? And he said, oh, it's about my experience with my kids. And it's like, okay. And this had not occurred to you. But it's just a little shortcut mentoring. And so it's I think it's important.
And of course, you can only do that if you listen.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's that genuine listening as well. It's like I say, it's really hard when you start, it is. We've all been there where you're kind of, you've got all the things that you've learned and that you know that you need to have involved, and it's all there and you're trying to separate it out. And it is really hard. But if you can, again, it goes back to trusting yourself. It goes back to that inner confidence and knowing that you'll be okay no matter what, and let go of the plan and actually just listen. And with that, it's okay to say, actually, I don't know what to do with that right now. Tell me a bit more about it. You don't have to instantly have the solution. I think that's another of those things. It's give yourself permission to sometimes not know, that you need a little bit more, a bit more conversation, a bit more detail, a bit more just go away from it and come back and go, actually, yeah, okay, I've got it now, and I'm there. And try and listen from the point of view of just taking in and observing and listening to what they're saying, rather than keeping your training head on to check for this and check for that. If that makes sense, people, I hope. But yeah. Any other questions from anyone or anything?
I mean, I just wanted to comment that I do relate into both ways, from both sides, from being coached, or for the being the person being coached and wishing that sometimes they could go that way and you're expecting it and they're keeping themselves from it.
Yeah.
And it does cause that distancing that I've noticed. And when that happens, usually with those coaches, I kind of tend to go, okay, not the right person for me, because they were too strict into what they thought they needed to provide you, to not stepping into giving you advice. So I appreciate it from that side. And I'm a mentor, not a coach. So from the other side, I'm seeing how at times I feel that I can connect, I can get there. Of course, you can get lost if you go too far deep. But I'm listening, I'm hearing the things that you're talking about, that integrity and experience led, the fact that you can actually support yourself with the experience that you have, and how at times you can get that connection more set up. But the moment you shared something intimately from you, or something that is a little more vulnerable from you, that they can actually then go into that space as well.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. It's because I think we've come from the place where it was you were either one or other. You were a coach or you were a mentor, and there was that feeling of, oh, I can't do that because I can't advise because I'm a coach. I can only ask questions. Oh, I can only guide because I'm a mentor. And I think we are learning that actually, again, it goes back to what I was saying at the very beginning about the whole overwhelm and the mistrust and everything that's out there, that it's people now trust the imperfect. They benefit from knowing that we aren't perfect. I'm far from perfect. I'm on occasion a total disaster, and that's fine. But then people, clients then understand that if I go, yeah, I get this, I know where you're coming from. I had, I did, or I had, or that happened to me, or I had a client that we did that and we tried that. I don't know whether that might be something you could explore. It builds that connection because you're a real person. You're not this, I know all the answers kind of person, which is people now don't trust. Yeah, absolutely, Aurora. Yeah, it does. It makes you approachable. It does. It lets people in because they go, oh, okay. It's, I mean, some of the really difficult situations that I've had to deal with clients, it's been about going, okay, I've done that and this has happened to me. So seriously, I defy you to shock me. Go on. And it's that being able to kind of share experiences a little bit and then ask questions or then direct is so much more powerful. And it's giving yourself permission to blend it. As I say, it's I think we are, we can call ourselves a coach or a mentor or whatever we want to call ourselves, but I think it's giving ourselves that personal permission to be able to use whatever we feel we need to. So it's like there will be, obviously for you, there will be times when it's more of a coaching situation because it's like, well, okay, what can you do, or can you suggest, and you're coaching anyway, and other times it's mentoring, even though you're a mentor. So it's yeah, I think it is. It's that vulnerability. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the approach is also useful for people managers. Very much so. Yeah. No, this is the thing. I mean, again, another example of where you need, I use coaching and mentoring. I work with quite a lot of people that have been promoted within the corporate world. And a lot of them, particularly the women, are quite concerned about, oh, am I going to be taken seriously in the boardroom? And am I going, I've got to present to the C-suite level people, and there's a lot of things I don't know. And, so it's like, if there's things they don't know and situations that they've never been in, I can ask them questions about how they're going to handle it for hours. But if they genuinely don't know, my questions aren't going to help, because it's an unknown entity. But if we go down that, well, is there someone, do you know whether the bits you don't know are new because it's a new addition to the role, or is there someone you can speak to that knows, that's done the job before, or has the answers to the things you don't know? What I've suggested in the past is you speak to, find out who doesn't know because it's new. Or, with presentations, there's mentoring in how to do the presentations or how to hold yourself. So it's kind of what they need. There's no point just coaching when there's a lack of answers, when there's a simple fix to shortcut slightly. So it's about just playing and having fun with it and just going, okay.
I would hope we've moved sorry, Ian, I thought you'd finished. I hope we've moved a long way from the training where it says, the coach has all the answers, because, as you say, that's not true. If they don't know, the first thing to think about is, well, maybe I'm asking the wrong questions. But at some point you realize the coachee really doesn't know, and you have to put your mentoring hat on, which is why I'm seeing such a big increase in combo accreditations, because actually that's what the client needs. They need coaching to a point, and then they need mentoring to share the hacks. How do you get there? How did you do it? How did other people do it? So that they're not floundering around in the dark. And I think, Stephen, I can see you're on this call. Stephen's approach to coaching and mentoring was probably the first really blended approach that I'd come across. So yeah, I like that.
Yeah, no, it is. But the scary thing is, though, that there are still people, I say training, I use the term very loosely, in the literally the old way of doing things. It's like, I was talking to, it was a client yesterday who was saying that a friend a friend was becoming a coach, and so they were trying out their offer, their program on them. And like, the first thing that they were asked to do was write a letter of apology to their younger self. And it's like, he said, well, what do you think about that? And I said, well, first of all, I would never suggest you apologize for anything to your youngest. And, you don't apologize for things you did when you were in survival or in a different part of your life or a different position, because that implies you did something horribly wrong. And you didn't. You did the best you could at the time you did. But that was part of what this guy had been taught to do. And it's like, no, what have we not moved from that? Have we not got to a place where we understand, that we do the best with what we've got at the time, where we are, with the knowledge we have, with the skills that we have? And it's not you apologize for that. That's who you were. You can look back and forgive yourself for things that you did if you're struggling with it. But no, it's scary that there are still people selling training that is based on, the 1970s almost.
But I think I noticed also the fact that when you see your client spinning, and you know that all you have to do is to stop them from spinning, is telling them something that I know that you were not told you can tell them what to do. At times, just to stop the spin, to let them do just a step away from it, and then you move on again into the questioning. But to actually keep hammering someone that is spinning, to try to tell them, stop spinning, it's like, you can't. If they're here with you, if they're here having the session with you, it's because that's where they are, and that's where they're having a hard time with. keep hammering and you lose them,
Yeah.
So I think that's the point I think that you're trying to say. That's when a little bit of a mentoring and tell them, do this now. And then
Yeah.
we'll come and rejoin next week when you are able, or whatever it is, when you're able to stop this spin. You did a step forward or a step back for whatever that is, or a step to the side, whatever that was, and then you take them back on.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's that overwhelming that you're saying we keep sending another book and another thing to do and another thing to and not necessarily to stop the moment that they're in.
Yeah.
To
No,
regain
absolutely.
momentum again, and then you are trying to, yes, to regain that momentum that you need. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate what you're saying. You put it so clearly.
Oh, thank
that
you.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think it's important. It's as I say, that it's obviously it's kind of my thoughts on it, but it is that I hate the thought that somebody that you want to help somebody and you hold back because I can't, I shouldn't, or I can't do that because I'm not allowed. And I know that there are a lot of people that do feel like that and and it's like, no, just do it. Just do it. Do it. Take that step. You'll never regret doing it. No, that's good. Well, that's kind of all I wanted to say, really. I was going to make a little bonus offer for anyone that turned up today if they would like it. In that hang on, let me put the information up. If anyone would like a copy, as you've joined me this afternoon, there. If anyone would like a copy of my book, which came out on the 11th of the 1st, because 111 is my favorite angel number, because not only am I slightly barking, I'm a bit woo-woo as well. But if anyone would like a copy of my book, if you drop me an email with your address, I will send a signed copy in the post to you. So ijgijg@gmail.com. Just pop name and address to me and I will send that off to you.
That's such a generous offer. Thank you, Ian.
It's just to say thank you for turning up, because you're giving me your time and I appreciate it. And it's just basically, it's only a short book. It's only like 75 pages. It's not an epic tome. But it's just, again, it's just a few ideas on. I get a lot of clients that go, oh, it's too late and I wish I'd done it years ago and I can't, and I'm too old to do that now, and I've wasted so many years and I did that and it was a waste of that. And so I just put some of the things that I've talked about and some of the journaling prompts and some of the ideas into a book, because they're things that I say a lot and use a lot. And there's a few stories and bits in there as well, but it might be quite useful for you. So yeah, as I say, just drop me name and address and I will forward a copy to you as a thank you for joining me.
That's fabulous. I see Rachel has her hand up. Rachel, would you like to unmute yourself and speak, please?
Hello, thank you, Ian. That's a very generous offer with your book. I just wanted to just say that it's such a refreshing conversation, because I find with my coaching practice, which I'm now discovering is a blend of coaching and mentoring, I'm really struggling to even imagine how I would manage to separate the two in the line that of work that I do. So it's really reassuring to hear that the blended approach is welcomed, because
absolutely,
to be honest, I just don't know if I'd manage to separate it.
Yeah. But this is the thing, if doing what you do, it's because we care. It's because we want the best for the people we work with. And that's what I mean. I hate the fact that there is this kind of, quite often, this feeling of, oh, I shouldn't be doing that. And you end up holding back because you think, no, the coaching police are going to come around and tell me I mentored when I should be coaching. And it's not, and you do. I know it's ridiculous, but you have that. And it's like, or you go, oh, well, I was saying this to a client the other day and somebody go, oh, Yeah, and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I mentored. Forgive me. You know, but so no, it is. It's completely. It's fundamentally. It's what's best for our clients. And you know, the more experience you have in different areas, the more you can bring to it. And it's that connection to people because they understand. You know, I've been through a lot of crap over the years, and too much to go into now. But each of those things means that I always say to clients, if I say I understand, I really understand, not from oh, I've read a book once or I've heard of it. It's like, yeah, that, been through that, got that t-shirt.
Yeah.
And it's okay. So no, keep that blending because it's so important. You know, it builds closer connections with the clients. It helps you get more out of it. Because the second they trust that you genuinely get it, then they'll open up more, you know, which makes that job easier.
Yeah.
No,
I think as well, I find with quite a lot of my clients that they are looking for direction. So without me having to say, can I give you a bit of advice? They're already asking for the advice, or they're asking, have you been through this? What would you do? So they're curious about, welcome to know what I did in that experience rather than me having to offer it initially.
Yeah, I think it's that combination that it makes it work because again, you're not just telling them so that they're following an instruction. It's like, because that's just compliance and they're not taking responsibility. But it's like if they're going, I want to, but I no clue. And you can go, well, I tried this with the car, or I did that when I was going through it, or my friend did this, or whatever. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I won't do that, but I could try, and you're off again. So yeah, it's no, absolutely blend away.
Thank you.
Veronica, you've got your hand up, darling.
Yeah, I was going to say, Rachel, if you're here, it's because this talked to you in a way, you know, like that's how I felt like, you know, if we're here, it's because we felt like, yeah, maybe there's an unconscious that is telling me that, yes, I do this. So I want to know more about it, right? On one hand. The other one that I was going to tell you is that I try to tell them that, you know, when I do the mentoring on the advice, I'm trying to tell them, even though I'm telling you this, so I know that we share something, your journey is unique. So I'm sharing something, but like, you know, but I know that, like, not minimizing that, oh, you know, oh, we all went through that. Of course, you're gonna be fine. Not that kind of thing. It's more like saying, I get you, you know, that connection. I get you. I know how you're going through. Yet your journey is yours. You know, so that's I think when you get back, you can go back to the coaching, you know, you can go to the I connect and then go back to the coach. How is your journey unique, different than everybody else's, knowing that I get it?
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. So very good point. Yeah. Good. Anything else from anyone else? I think we're all good. Well, I hope it's been useful. Yeah, I tend to go slightly off piste with things, but it's just the way I work. It's just the way I am. So I make no apologies for it. But yeah, as I say, it's I think the big thing to take from it is, yes, give yourself permission to do what you instinctively and intuitively know is the right thing to do. Yeah, it's that, like I say, that sharp intake of breath from someone when you go, oh, I was saying to them to do that, and they go, oh, but you're a coach, you shouldn't be doing that. It's like, well, tough. You know what? Tough. I'm doing it. That's me. And that's what, you know, people, we're all, you know, we all do what we do, and we will connect with different people because they will see something in each of us that makes you think, yeah, you're the person for me. So you're not doing anything wrong. if you know, it's about blending to do what works best for the person that's in front of you. And sometimes it's just listening. And that's where it all comes from.
And I would add to that, like Veronica says, none of us want to leave our clients floundering.
No.
So the best thing to do is measure expectations at the contract stage. I'm a coach and a mentor. I'm insured, I'm certified, I'm experienced, and I'm accredited. So that's why we're always promoting the combo accreditation, because increasingly that's what the client needs. They need somebody who's been there and done it and is willing and able to share some real life experience with them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, that's the thing. It's that whole approach that all of us come to it from the point of view of, okay, we're all flawed. It's just we've learned ways to handle all those things, you know. So that's what we're sharing. It's not, you know, it's not, we're not perfect. We don't have all the answers. You know, I don't live in a Disney movie, but if you're struggling with this, yeah, of course I can help you with it. And it's that, as I say, it's that experience over opinion, I think is the kind of thing to bear in mind with a lot of it. But there we go.
That's fantastic. Dawn, I will insert the link to the IAPC&M's mentoring coaching accreditation in case anyone is interested in exploring that further. Any last minute questions? I will take the silence for a no. Ian, it's always a pleasure to have you here with us.
It's been lovely. And thank you.
Dawn, I beg your pardon? Sorry.
Thank you for turning up.
It's our pleasure as well. Dawn, thank you for generously joining this masterclass. Always a pleasure to have you here, share your wisdom with us. It would be great if you could share with us the name of the book that very nicely resonated with what Ian was mentioning. And last minute question, Ian, how can we stay in touch with you?
To be honest, the easiest is my Facebook page, which is just Ian Norton, because that has everything. Or my website is iannortoncoaching.com. But to be honest,
director profile.
Oh, that's true. Yes, I forget I have that now.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's your shop window.
true.
You've got to put your book on there, your testimonials, photographs.
You know, I do. I've actually put dates in my diary to get to the meetings to find out about everything now. I've been very, very lax on that last year. But yes, no, that's a very good point, actually. Yes, I have that link too, don't I now? Thank you very much. Yes, I should put that in as well. But yes, so yes, yeah, all sorts of ways to get in touch and connect. And as I say, if you'd like a copy of the book, just drop me your name and address and I will send that to you with pleasure.
That is fantastic. Thank you very much, Ian. All right, with that, we will close this masterclass.